Hi, love.
Hey, Jen.
Hi. Hi, dear. Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Okay, so yeah, I think we've got a lot of great people here. We'll go ahead and get started. We're always available for questions. If you guys have to pop out for some reason or miss some of it, we are recording it. But of course, we're always available to answer your questions when you have them. So please don't be afraid to reach out. First of all, I am really super excited that this is happening, and I want to talk a little bit about kind of my experience through this. And the reason I landed here is because I left my position to enter an MBA program at Rice University.
Adele, who's running BiSGroups, is at Rice University getting it.
and so I took the opportunity. I was actually looking for something to contribute to in the few months leading up to having to start the program.
Oops. She's a little sketchy on internet here, so we'll give her, I'm going to insert something while Christy's internet is catching up with us. So I don't know that you all know this, but there's two ways to get involved. Oh, Christy, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
I was talking for you.
I was talking and talking. So
that's all right. I was just trying to tell everybody, I said, there's two ways you get involved. You either volunteer, which Christy did, which was a good thing because it could have been the second thing, which is voluntold. And so Christy said, no, I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand because it's going to come my way anyway. Yeah. So she did great. So let that all be a message to all of you.
Super. Can you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have really spotty Wi-Fi here in Galveston, just FYI, but there are plenty of people here that know about the program and can follow up as needed in case I cut out. So I wanted to be able to create something that involved all of us on some level, and didn't want it to be a project for one person or maybe just a few, because it is, when you're trying to do something meaningful, having more people involved and more people know what's going on will allow us to be able to be more sustainable, more stable, because we have a group of people now working on this together, and that includes all of you as well. And so with the importance of what was created previously, I wanted to get an idea of what you guys thought of the previous program. What were the pluses and minuses?
Oh. And that's not Christy filling in, but welcome, doggy. Welcome, doggy. So I'll jump in here. So Danielle, I'm going to have to make sure that you and Sarah and Lori are ready to jump in too. But we've been, Danielle has been on the sidelines with us, and Sarah and Lori and I, we've all really wrapped our arms around this program. And what we did is we were coming in and unpacking business circles and saying, how do we make it very relevant for today? How do we make it very, answering to the needs that everybody on this screen has here, because we're all in a different place than we were X amount of years ago when we started Business Circles. And I'm going to do a public shout out here to Rebecca McComas. She did a flippin' amazing job for us with Business Circles. And I know a lot of you have been a part of that. And so hats off to her. And I know Christy has called Rebecca and said, help us understand this. What'd you do? Because she made it look magical, but we all know it was work behind the scenes. And so as we had the task of saying, okay, let's unpack it and put it back together again, we really wanted to pivot off of, and Christy's back, we really wanted to pivot off of what was the goods and how do we make it be this program that you guys absolutely have to say to yourself, or we want you to say to yourself, I can't live without BiSGroups. I mean, I can't live without BiSGroups. They are my lifeline. And so we really wanted to create that. Christy, I'll volley it back to you again.
Yeah, I apologize. If I cut out again, apologize. But it seems like Colleen is picking up pretty well with that. So thank you. So really what I wanted to create, again, was something that all of us could help to develop. And so we structured things in a way that would involve that we could spread the workload out to a greater number of people. And something that, could be dynamic, could be, cutting edge, could change based on what was happening, in the environment, in the world, and our own businesses. And so I wanted something more flexible and something that was going to be more fun, would involve you guys some more. And so, yeah, we're really counting on the whole group to be able to contribute and develop this and keep it going. And so, some of the changes that we have implemented here is we are actually going to have monthly meetings that are structured in a way that allows us to have 2 moderators per meeting. And we will be having 4 meeting sessions per month. You actually get to choose which meeting time and meeting day that you want to join us at every single month. And so we will have, for example, our first month is developing your business plan. And so we'll have 4 meetings, typically mid-month, trying to kind of go around that 3rd week in the month. And so we will have meetings available Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Central. And then we'll also have an evening meeting available on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. And so for those, you have 4 choices. You don't have to be connected to a particular time and day every month. And so I know that our schedules can fluctuate, be variable from month to month. So it gives us some flexibility in your learning experience and how you want to go about that. And so we also are working on getting experts involved in each of these meetings. And our goal is to be able to have business experts be able to provide some of the tips and tricks and some of the best practices in the topic that we are focused on for the month. And the point of it would be for the expert to kind of open up with some of their valuable strategies. And like I said, their best practices, and that will help lend and open up the discussion that follows. And so we hope to have about a 45-minute discussion afterward with our group of people that have signed into the meeting. And we are working on ways to also involve breakout rooms in case their groups start to get larger. And so we're able to keep each individual group to a manageable level so that it will foster a more interactive discussion that involves everybody sitting around the table. And so, the point of it is, yes, give everyone the space that they need to develop themselves within their own businesses, but also provide somewhat of a framework and some structure on best practices, and then be able to adapt them to real life situations. And so that is kind of the overall strategy that we are looking for. And so in that, we have developed a really nice offering. And we are also open to your suggestions, and we are, committed to being flexible. And so if, we're receiving feedback here and there, of course, we'll take those things into consideration, and we'll discuss that within the group and figure out what the best approach would be moving forward.
Christy, can I interject something?
Mhm.
So as I'm gonna, I'm a color on, I've always got to be the unicorn. So when we were, and this was Christy and Sarah and I, And so we're on the phone and we're now all excited, all these really cool things that Christy's getting ready to talk about and that she's already just teasing you with by just kind of throwing it out there a little bit. And so we kept calling it Business Circles 2.0, Business Circles 2.0, Business Circles 2.0. And when we got done, all three of us looked at each other from across the miles and we said, this ain't your mama's business circles. This is different. So it's got to be called something different. So then we headed down two paths. We headed down path number one, that you were all going to be rock stars and you were going to be a part of a band because we were going to be rock stars. So we had Journey and we had Styx. We had them all going on. Rebecca's laughing because she's like, it's our era. Yes. So we had all that going on. And then we said, no, we think it's best in show. And so then we headed down the Busy Bee route and we headed down all those routes. And if you've not seen Busy or not seen Best in Show, oh my God, you have to go watch it. And so then we took up on this Best in Show, and it just became this springboard for so many things that are going to make us and keep us and continue to help us be best in show, because that truly is what our association is, and then what we believed with the people who are coming into this group, that they raised their hands and said, man, I need more. I need a little more. I want to be bigger more. I want to be bigger, more best in show. I want to be all that stuff. And so then it started to really unpack. And then Christy, because of her crazy brain, took off into BizMates and BizMods and BizBackers, and we got the whole thing branded and ready to rock and roll. So it is this delicious package it's biz, it's best in show, guys. And of course, biz can be biz, business, but it's totally best in show, totally best in show. And the lineup that Christy has put together with the sessions every month and the topics every month, and we're really starting to harness the power of the BizMates and these just absolute rock star people who are going to be able to bring to you these techniques and these secrets, if you will, that are best in show. I mean, I don't even know how else to say it, Christy. Best in show.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. That's the value there. And it's through everything that we do and embody. And so that's what's most important to us. And so, yeah, it's a great, those are great words.
Yeah. But we also got to know what you guys want for this. So Christy, I always have to I get so excited. I'm sorry.
I know. Yeah, I know. So yeah, we're here to answer your questions. I know you've received some information from us. It is, there's a lot to it, and we want to make sure that you understand how, the program's developed and some of the offerings that we have for you guys. And so through some of the information that we've already kind of put out there, we want to know kind of what questions that you guys might have about some things that we have planned or are open to. And so any questions that you guys have, just raise your hand or go ahead and start talking. You can also write them in the chat function as well.
Christy, can we talk a little bit as people are kind of thinking of their questions? I'm gonna volley it back over to you for a little teaser on some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, and then a teaser on. I can't even tease this one. I'm going to throw it out. Can I say the word podcast? Can I say it right now? Podcast.
Yeah.
So go, Christy. Go. Deliver it.
Yeah. So, the meetings, some of the topics that we will be discussing include the categories of business strategy, business finances, wellness topics, marketing, medical operations, regulatory and legal compliance, And so these are really big topics that we as business people have to deal with all the time. And so they present certain challenges that we oftentimes wish that, you know, we had an expert in our back pocket just there all the time telling us, you know, what to do and how to do it. And so we just want to be able to, portray these topics in a way that makes sense to you and that you can apply to real life. And so some of the specifics underneath some of the categories would be things like, what's your business plan? How do you write a business plan? How detailed does your business plan need to be? And so some of the things that you want to consider, because that's a really key strategic piece of starting a business and maintaining a business, growing, and then, you know, all the way to your exit strategy. And so we want to be able to make sure that we cover, you know, that whole series of events. And so understanding your financial statements, you know, how do you read a P&L? How do you analyze a business's finances in order to make some really educated decisions on how to really handle and grow your business as time progresses? The other important thing, of course, in wellness, we want to make sure that, you know, we are also really cognizant about taking care of ourselves outside of our work. And so in particular, we've got a topic of stress busters for the holiday over December. Social media marketing will be in the month of January, and that's certainly something that Colleen is very excited about. Definitely has a lot of experience, and I think she could be very helpful in that arena. Also under medical operations, you know, talking about our end of life protocols. We're talking about, you know, things like pricing with that, the strategies, some of the medications that we're using. And so that is also part of the business operations. Controlling your controlled substances is another topic. You know, of course, the regulatory compliance is very important. And we have people that are experts in those fields that can actually provide some meaningful structure and ideas on how to best manage that part of your practice. Brand awareness, brand management, another portion of marketing. We'll be featuring that in April. And then an aspect of growing your team, engaging your team, providing the resources that they need, the development that they need moving forward. We've got that going on in May of next year. We also have your exit strategy. We're going to be focusing on that, whether or not you guys decide, you know, either to, you know, keep going for a while for some reason, or if you are looking to sell to an associate, if you're looking to sell to a larger company, you know, there are lots of options. And so it's really important to know what options are out there and what strategy that you're leaning towards so that you can get the guidance and the help that you need to do it the right way and, you know, do it without, you know, you want to make sure that it's, you know, it's clean and it's positive and, you know, has a good effect on whatever team you may be leaving behind. And so, and then, you know, moving forward, we've kept things kind of as a TBA. And so we really want, you know, you guys to be able to provide some feedback on what we may want to focus on moving forward. We wanted to have a strategy lined out so you have an idea of what we're going to be focusing on and what some of the valuable information you would gain by being a member of BiSGroups. Yeah.
So Christy, I'm gonna pop in a couple things here. First of all, Rebecca Rose made a comment about consistency. And I tell you what, if there's I'm all about consistency, but if there's one thing we learned from Rebecca McComas, in fact, there's still some business circle groups that are meeting because they were consistent. They loved it. They fed off of it. They did all that we know on being consistent. And so that is one of the elements that we've really looked at hard is to make sure, not only are we being consistent in the program and the offerings and the value, man, we've really talked about that. But second is, are we relevant to what our members need? And Chris, I'm going to come to your question here in 1 second, but I want to go back to a comment Rebecca Rose made about talking about price. And she's exactly right. The Federal Trade Commission does not like when we gather as employees for and talk about price, and then we all do the same price. FTC does not like that. What is okay to talk about is pricing strategies. And so as you look at your P&L, as you look at your COGS, and whoever our BizMate is, that's going to be our expert on that, that says, hey, listen, one way you can do it is you can be a quantity over quality girl. Okay, nothing wrong with that, or guy, nothing wrong with that. Another way to look at it is say, hey, you load that profit margin on there, you'd be a boutique and you're going to work really smart and not really hard. Okay, and you're going to make the same amount of money. Different pricing strategies we can talk about. And that's the stuff we want to unpack, because you guys, I get it. I used to be in my own little world too, and you swim around over there and you're like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm doing the wrong thing. I got nothing. I'm just doing what feels good. And then you talk to a colleague and you're like, holy heck, that was all the wrong thing. Okay, so that's what we want to be here for. Okay, so now let's unpack a question. Chris asked, are they going to be, are our biz groups going to be groups of like, let's just call it maturity. And what I mean by that is not your age, because we're all very young on this call. So it is like places in their business model. And so let's talk about that, Christy, because I know you, Sarah, Lori, and Danielle and I have just pounded that darn thing. We pounded that thing. So go, Christy.
So yeah, when she said we handled that thing, we did. We talked at length about the best way to handle that. And so, we were finding that a lot of the newer members that were joining business circles were actually a lot of startups. And so we wanted to be able to present the information in a way that would be useful for people in that startup mode, people that were mature in their businesses, and people that were, had been in business for several years. And so we want to be able to present this in a way that everybody benefits, no matter what stage of business that you guys are in.
So let's ask a clarifying question. And Chris came off of my screen. I'll go find her though. So Chris, if you had to say what the ultimate would be, she's still on? Would it be that you would be in a group? She may have popped off, but maybe this is for everybody.
I'm still here. Hi, Colleen. Yeah.
There you are, love. I found you. I just found you. So if you had to say what the ultimate would be, and everybody else on here too, would it be that I want to be in I want the Tuesday morning meeting to be for newbies. I want the Wednesday morning meeting to be for people who've been in business 3 to 5 years. I want the Thursday morning meeting to be for people who have been in business 5 to plus. And then Sunday's a catch-all. I don't know, discuss.
I'll pop in only because it was my question, sorry. But I think that, I don't know, I liked the flexibility that you guys were talking about. And again, this is just one opinion. So it is kind of nice from week or month to month. Hey, I'll do a Sunday meeting this time, but then Wednesday morning next month. That is kind of nice. But I do understand too, there might have to be some sort of structure like that to accommodate a more mature business versus a startup. So, or maybe a particular topic, say whatever topic that's going to be focused on that month. Some business, even if they are a startup, they still might want a more mature perspective on that. And so may want to join the more mature group. So I don't know if there's a right answer for that. Maybe it's a matter of starting with something and seeing the feedback. I don't know.
Man, I tell you, that's where we were at, Chris. We have just, like I said, we've just beat that poor subject up. We can't even tell what it is anymore. We beat it up so much. So, and we said exactly what you said, my love. We said, listen, we may need to just start and see what happens. So
I have an idea to throw in there.
Say that again.
Hey, I have an idea to throw in there. As you were saying that, I was thinking about just spending time on the Facebook groups, the mobile vets, or the palliative care, where there is very different questions. There's a lot of people who are coming and saying, where do I even begin? And they need a lot of information, and it's a great place to get it. And there's some people who are way further along. What if there was some time during meetings for each group? Like this 20 minutes is going to be time for the newbies to just kind of sit back and absorb. And but I could see it wouldn't be beneficial if people who were starting out talked the entire time, or were dominating. I think either way, if the more experienced people are dominating the questions, the newer people are going to feel like, I will never get this figured out. I don't even know where to begin. They'll be frustrated. If it's all new people asking questions, more experienced people like, I already did this, I'm bored.
You know, Claire,
there be a little bit of like time toggling might work.
yeah. You know, it's interesting that you're saying that, because one of the things that we actually talked about, and I think it's on Christie's parking lot, is kind of what you're saying, but maybe you're a newbie and you joined in on a group and you're like, man, I'm digging all this stuff, but it's a little much for me right now, but man, I want to be forward thinking and I want to know more about it. And so one of the things we talked about is maybe another leg of BiSGroups is that we would add in that you could say, hey, listen, whoever that expert is in that area, can I be assigned a mentor? How y'all feel about that? Did that just feel yummy? I see a lot of heads going up and down going, sign me up, Christy, sign me up. That's kind of cool when you got your own personal coach, right? So I'm going to make this point, and then Christy, I'm going to shut up. So if I can ask everybody on here, and I'm not even going to make you say amen, but I would like for you to say amen. What I would like you to do is to say, hey, BiSGroup people, we'll be patient with you because we know we're going to continue to build the sidewalks here. Because we want it, we have, man, our vision is that this thing, again, is going to be that thing you just can't live without. And we know we've got some building blocks yet. We know that.
Amen.
I got one amen. I love it. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Karen's making a comment on here. I should let you handle these, Christy.
So, so what I'm seeing a couple of things here with trying the breakout group as different experience levels, which I can see makes sense within a meeting. I can also see that it makes sense to maybe address and maybe even assign the different days to different levels. Is there, we get an idea of how strongly you all feel about that, or you guys, are in support of that, or feel a different way about it?
Christy, I know when I was in business groups, I felt like I kind of aged out of it. And I feel like that's one of the reasons I left, is because I just felt like I got to a point where I wasn't really getting anything from it anymore, because the people in the group were there's still a lot of startups. And I wonder if it's more like maybe less of a question of how many years you've been practicing and more of like, what kind of business model you have and like what you're looking for. So do you have employees?
I'll be back and
or
Daddy's
not?
coming.
Or I just think it makes a difference in what you're interested in. Like if you want to talk about benefits, or do you want to talk about, how to what kind of bag you bring into your appointments. Like that's a big difference. And there's some things I'm willing to spend an hour on and some things I'm not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And that makes sense. And, you know, like Colleen mentioned, it's, some of it is a work in progress. And so it's really just kind of staying open and staying flexible to the opportunities and the possibilities here. And so with some of the comments that we are seeing about the strategy of leveling, you know, the process out, it's certainly something we will go to the drawing board about. And, you know, we'll certainly regroup about it and see what we can do to, if there's a way that we can accommodate that in a better way. But yeah, we are looking for your input and your suggestions in that. And so please, you know, if you have anything, you know, don't hesitate to just raise your hand or email us or let us know. So I think Claire's hand was up for a while. Just want to make sure that we address her if she's still on here.
Oh, I am. It was
Okay.
it was a similar question. Yeah,
Okay.
I did want to say, I just said this in chat, but I think if the downside of if it was completely split up would be that you kind of need the more experienced people to be providing some of that support for the new people, and also the more experienced people to get experience, you know, comments from other experienced people. So having it be completely split
Yeah.
is problematic
Yeah.
too.
So I'm hearing some of you saying you're really liking the flexibility and being able to pick the day and the time that works best for you each month. And so perhaps, you know, we'll talk about maybe our breakout sessions being kind of based on, you know, where you're at in your business process. And so we can focus each of those smaller discussions to really to be more beneficial and more efficient, depending on where you're at in your process. And so I can definitely see the benefit of that. So thank you guys very much for those suggestions.
Christy, I think Patty had her hand up for a while as well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Patty, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Gosh, it's just such a beautiful thing to be amongst all of you. Gosh, I have so many questions and so many comments, and I don't want to hog up the time, but you know, I'm a life coach and an end-of-life doula and a certified grief educator and coach, and I specialize in pet loss, but I'm not really sure if I'm in this room, that I should be in this room. I'm not a vet or a vet tech. Is this what this room is all about? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly topics that you may be beneficial to you, including the aspect of, you know, team building, the aspect of wellness could be beneficial as well. And so we want to leave those topics open to those who may not be, you know, DVMs or in a certain type of veterinary practice. And so, and that's what the IAAHP is all about. And so, so yeah, I mean, I think, you know, and we put a meeting schedule out and everything. And so if you feel particularly drawn to a subject, I would definitely encourage you come and you participate.
You know, I really truly believe, and even with the grief educators that I am a part of, I really believe in collaboration rather than competition. And I get a real sense of collaboration just within this group, even if, you know, I'm not meant to be here, but I really appreciate the passion and, you know, just the kindness and openness of all of you. So thanks for having me for tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, that's what it is. We are here to learn. And I feel the best way to do that is in a collaborative manner, being supportive to one another, to one another's ideas. Nobody ever has a bad idea. And so I think it's really important for us to all feel comfortable in these discussions And our comfort level will allow us to open up and allow us to really have those deeper, deeper conversations that, sometimes they're hard to talk about, and sometimes they're just really challenging things. And so, yeah, to kind of develop something, a sense of trust and understanding, right? And so, yeah, so that is the whole point. It's not, we're not here to be competitive, with one another. We're just here in an arena to learn. Thank you. Anything else, Patty?
Nope, not for now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I know, I'm sure after this session, there are a lot of things that come up. And so, yeah, totally understand that. So I'm looking back. Danielle, is there anything else I'm missing?
Making sure that no comment has been missed.
Chris, I can see that Jackie's got her hand up.
Oh,
Yeah, hi guys. Can you hear me?
hi, yes.
Hey, so I've been a member for a really long time. I was not a member of business circles because I'm based over in Australia. So for me, time zone has always been, a real challenge. I guess, and I may have missed this, I came in a little bit late. I guess I'm interested also in, some of the other networking beyond just those meeting sessions. So, will the content maybe be recorded? We can access later. Is there, a Facebook group that's sort of linked to this where conversation happens? That would make it more accessible for me over here.
Yeah, great question. And yes, the part of the meeting that when the expert is presenting with best tips, tricks, and strategies, that portion will be recorded. The individual peer discussion afterward will not be recorded. But we will have those recordings available in case you, miss out on every day during the month. And I understand, obviously, with your schedule, it'll be a little difficult for you to be able to join us all the time. In addition, you had mentioned the Facebook, and yes, we had just renamed the Business Circles Facebook group to BiSGroups. And yeah, the purpose of that will be to follow along in the discussion and the topics that we're presenting, providing more information and resources. Same thing with the podcast. That will involve a lot of kind of, structuring and, making sure that we're pulling everything together. And the podcast really also, our goal is to be able to have, a BiSGroup member be a co-host. And so we get to learn about, your business and how you developed and some of the strategies you implemented. And so it provides a learning environment for all of us. And of course, podcasts are all recorded. And so you'll have access to that. In addition, we have plans to do blogs as well. And so we want to make sure that we're presenting relevant, up-to-date, accurate information. And so you'll find more information in, either coming onto the website or engaging yourself into the blogs. And I imagine I'll be contributing a lot of that content and hoping that I can take some of what I'm actually learning currently in my MBA program and kind of, put that together with a topic that's relevant to hospice and, be able to, provide that kind of elevated, education so that all of us can benefit from it. And so, yeah, we're going to be looking at this from multiple angles. So does that help answer your question?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. It sounds amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. And so let me look down here again.
Did we answer Karen's question about the moderators?
What was her question?
Because it can happen within these groups that one person will end up taking over that conversation. It can be especially difficult for new members. Interested to know if the moderators will have strategies for minimizing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're going to have is actual moderator guidelines. And Colleen has also offered to train our moderators on how to properly moderate meetings so that, you know, we are able to have everyone contribute in as equal manner as possible. And so we'll be able to implement some of those good strategies and teach our moderators how to help the group be more effective and more efficient and have a greater impact with that. So we're hoping that that will help us lead those discussions.
They probably have us muted when we're first on.
Did that answer your question? All right, excellent. Looks like Kathy Cooney weighing in. I also like the mixed experience level meetings with strong moderation. We get to focus on the topic and share perspectives. Yes, that's absolutely true. And the vision that we have for the entire group. Oh, that's sweet. Welcome. Danielle, did I miss anything else?
Cindy had asked if there was going to be a size cap for the meetings.
Yeah, we've discussed a size cap, and I think what we are going to do to start out with is just see how many folks that we're seeing at each of these meetings, and using the strategy of breakout sessions and breakout discussions to try to manage the size of the groups. And if we are seeing that a particular day or time, we're constantly, overbooking, we may offer, 2 meetings on that day. We may decide if we're not getting enough members in a
turned on my
particular
video and
day
it was done like this and showed
time,
this.
that we may actually, we might switch a day or something like that. And so it's really a process of kind of, we're seeing what's working here. And
I
so-
did, and that's where it put me into video because I was trying to.
Christy, I think as the host, you have the power to mute.
Oh, okay.
You too. Those 3 little buttons up at the top,
Yep.
I think, if you hover, might be able to.
Yeah.
mute that.
I don't have as much experience as this as Colleen does. So, yeah, I really want this to be an enjoyable, fun, learning experience for all of us. And, we'll be flexible and we'll do what we can to help achieve that. Anyone else have any other questions? Excellent. Okay, well, we can certainly, we can wrap this up. I just want to let you know that we will be staying in touch with everybody. Some of the, next things that'll be coming out, more specifics related to the meetings. I'm going to be connecting with the moderators that we have available, and thank you again for everyone that has volunteered. It certainly helps keep things going, and it helps to spread out the workload, as I said. And so, we'll also be addressing, enrollment and things like that. As it is, we're going to be opening up enrollment, and you'll get notifications on it. Our final, we'll wrap up enrollment. It looks like the end of the first week of October, so that we will all be ready to go by that first meeting in mid-October. So, the price for membership is $199 per year. We will also offer a mid-session. I'm sorry, my pugs are really loud. We'll offer a mid-session enrollment in January of this year coming up. And so anyone that missed the open enrollment and would like to participate for most of 2023, they'll get the opportunity to enroll in the month of January. And so we'll give plenty of notice about that too as well. All right, I think that's everything. Thank you guys for joining us. It was really great to have everybody here, see everyone's faces. you know, we've got a good little group of administrators here for support. And so, you know, like I said, anything you guys have questions or suggestions about, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks all.
Peace
Sure.
out.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Help.